Are you ready to break through any barrier or limiting belief holding you back? Ready to embrace your full potential and achieve your greatest success? Ready to get noticed and become the champion you were born to be? Then buckle up, because you've come to the right place. Greetings, champions. Master Coach Rich Grogan here, ready to rock your world with some right hooks of reality and warrior confidence tips to help you be the leader, the hero, the champion you were born to be. So buckle up that chin strap and let's get at it. We're in the month of November, and it's No Quit November, and it's all about you having the perseverance, having the resilience, having the determination, having that grit to not quit, man, to not give up. Now, is life all sunshine and rainbows? No. Those who listen all the time, you hear me talk about that all the time. And as Rocky says, no, not only is it not only sunshine and rainbows, but a lot of the times it's tough, it's rough, and it'll beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. Yeah, and Rocky goes on to say that you, me, nobody hits as hard as life. Oh, I'll go ahead and finish it here. But it's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how you can get hit and keep moving forward, how much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. That's true, man. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you got to be willing to take those hits. And I'm telling you, those hits are going to keep coming. They're going to keep coming and keep coming. And that's what's going to help separate you from everybody else. Most people, they get dropped. They have a setback. They have a failure. Big old challenge pushes them back. Oh, that's it. I just give up. And unfortunately, that's what the majority of people do, but not you. No, you're listening to this podcast. You're listening to Warrior Confidence Hockey Podcast, Unleashing Champions on and off the ice. Why? Because you want to be the hero, leader, and champion you were born to be. And I promise you, I'm going to give you everything I've got here in each episode, each video, each book I write, each speech I give to help empower you to be your very, very best. But here's the thing I tell the players all the time. I can't do it for you. I want it for you. I'm going to give you everything I've got, but I can't want it more than you want it. I can't want for you to be a hero, leader, and a champion more than you want it for yourself. You got to be willing to do it. And what are we talking about today? Well, this is episode number 386. Woohoo! Closing in on 400, baby. Unbelievable. And that's something people ask all the time. How in the world do you have 386 podcasts? Well, it didn't happen overnight. That's for doggone sure. It took one and then two and then three. And before you know it, there was 100. Then there's 200. Then there's 300. And now we're closing in on 4. But that's a great lesson in anything we do in life. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. You becoming the hero, leader, and champion you were born to be. You've already taken many steps to get to the level you're at right now. We got to keep that momentum going. And that's the thing. The momentum is or anything, any type of success in life revolves around the law of inertia. The law of inertia says once an item's in motion, it tends to stay in motion. Once an item's at rest, it tends to stay at rest. So we got to keep that motion going, right? It's like pushing a car, example I give all the time. If you've ever had to push a car, you know how difficult that is to get that thing rolling, right? Especially if you're pushing by yourself. Man, it's like, oh! You expend more energy just getting it going than you do the whole rest of the time. But once you get it rolling, man, it's not easy. Nothing in life is easy, but it's a heck of a lot easier than an initial push. If you've ever had to try to push a car with a flat tire, oh my gosh. I mean, that's doggone nearly impossible. Once you get it going, though, and of course what happens is every time that flat spot on that tire rolls around, especially if it's been sitting there a while, that's kind of the bumps and the hiccups and the potholes in life we run into. Yeah. So what are we talking about? Episode number 386, talking about getting noticed, lead with integrity, and I promise, man, you'll stand out. Once again, why? Because so few are willing to do it. So many people are just accept just blending in with the crowd. They just accept going along and doing what everybody else is doing. Not you. You've got a unique God-given talent. You've got something. You've got the grit. You've got the perseverance. You've got the no quit November attitude and mindset to not give up, to not be like everyone else. And why would you want to be? When you try to be like someone else, all the best you can do is be a cheap replica. That's the absolute best you can do. Because you can never be like someone else because you were not made like someone else. You don't have the talents, the gifts, the abilities of someone else. But guess what? They don't have what you have. They don't have whatever your gift is. Why? You're a unique, God-given gift from God. You're unique, man. You were made. And I remember when I was a kid, a lot of times one of the ways people bullied me, and I was bullied a lot. Why? Because I allowed it to happen. Because I didn't have the warrior confidence. because I didn't believe in myself. And when you don't believe in yourself, man, if you don't have that confidence, if you don't have that warrior confidence, you're a sitting duck. You're easy. People are going to take pop shots at you. Why? Because if you don't believe in yourself, you probably don't respect yourself either. And if you don't respect yourself, then there's no way anyone else is going to respect you. Anyway, one of the things they would say all the time was, Richie, they broke the mold after they made you. I'm like, okay. It hurt my feelings. Fragile feelings. Unbelievable. Now, we all got feelings, right? But the tougher I guess how we get tougher is believing in ourselves, overcoming adversity, overcoming setbacks, having that respect for ourselves, not to give up, not to give in when things get tough. That's how you build respect for yourself. That's how you build confidence within yourself. That's how you start to believe in yourself. And before you know it, man, it rolls. Just like pushing that car I was talking about, just like a journey of 1,000 miles. Now, does that mean I'm always as confident as I am on camera right here, right now, talking to you? It's a battle. It really is. I mean, I'll get some negative reviews. I'll get some, I don't know, haters, if you want to call them that, online. And for whatever reason, I'm getting much better at it. I mean, it's a work in progress. I mean, everybody likes to be liked. My whole goal is to inspire you. And when I come up short, inspiring and motivating somebody, I think, what could I have done differently? And I'm sure you're the same way. But here's the deal. Some people don't want your help. Some people, regardless what you do, you're not going to win them over. Doesn't matter. You could give everything you could to this person, and you're just not for them. And that's been a hard lesson for me to take in. My wife was constantly reminding me of that. Believe it or not, some people do not like Coach Rich Grogan. I'm like, why not? Because they just don't. Who knows why? But here's the thing. You stay true to you. You be the best you can be. And the right people, they won't just like you, man. They'll love you. And the others, well, they'll either come around or they won't. But either way, do not change who you are. Do not sacrifice your character, your integrity. Do not sacrifice your core beliefs to try and please everybody. You know, the old recipe for disaster is when you try to be everything to everyone, or when you try and please everyone, you end up being nothing to no one and pleasing very few, if any. You know, Steve Jobs once said, if you want to make everybody happy, sell ice cream. If you want to be a leader, hero, and champion, you're not always going to make everybody happy. But make sure you never disrespect yourself. Lead with character, lead with integrity, and I promise you'll stand out and you'll get noticed. And that's what we all want, right? Especially our hockey players. They want to get noticed. They want to get extra ice time. They want to get leadership roles. Well, how do they do it? Well, they don't do it by blending in with everyone else. Now, I've told you many times, those that listen a lot, and for our new listeners, thank you so very much. Our listeners that have been listening forever, gosh darn, I cannot truly thank you enough for all the love, support, the likes, the comments, the 5-star reviews, which, by the way, if you like what you hear here, please, if we've earned it, give us that 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you're listening in on. And of course, on YouTube, like, subscribe, ring that bell so you don't miss an episode. But I was always told what I couldn't do. I was always told, Richie, you're not big enough. You're not strong enough. You're not smart enough. You're not talented enough. Now, I could have believed that. I could have just said, oh, I guess that's my destiny. Or I can say, you know what? I'm going to do everything I can with what I've got. And you've heard me talk before on other episodes about attitude and effort are the two things you control. And if you're not following Real Rich Grogan across social media, make sure you check it out. Daily videos are firing out there, and motivation and inspiration. I got a new group, Warrior Confidence Hockey, Get Ice Time and Earn Respect. Check that baby out. Part of the group. Now, if you're going to be a jerk, well, you're probably not listening to this if you're going to be a jerk, but if you are, don't even bother leaving a yucky comment, or don't even bother joining the group, because I'll just block you out of it. It's going to be for those that really want to engage with one another in order to help, well, us as coaches, produce the best athletes, us as men and dads to produce the best kiddos, right? And then, of course, hockey players to be the very best you can be. So when you grow up as be a mentor or a coach or a dad, you're the absolute very best you can be as well. Good? All right. So talking about character and integrity, I think of integrity is doing what you say you're going to do, and it's the discipline falls right in line there. But doing what you say you're going to do, even if you're the only one, and even if you don't feel like doing it anymore. Man, if you commit to saying you're going to do it, you commit and you hold true to your core values, whatever those core values are. Now, people ask me all the time, did you always have integrity and character? Now, I would love to lie and say, yeah, I did. But man, I went through some trials and tribulations like everyone else. And to be honest with you, until I put what I call my core four values, honor, integrity, discipline, and respect in place, before I had those pillars, then I would drift. I'm ashamed to say, but it's just the reality of things. It's the truth. And that's why I'm being as transparent as I can, my podcasts, my speeches, videos, my books, and everything else, to say, look, man, I messed up. I screwed up a lot. I did things that I regret, I'm ashamed of, and I'm not very proud of. But I've learned from them. I'm growing from them. I wear my cross every day as a reminder to be the best 2.0 version of myself. Don't drift back. Now, it's easier. The path well-traveled is an easy path to follow because everybody's on it. But the path less traveled, that's a tough one. But that's the path that leads to the success that you're looking for, leads to the character, the integrity, helps you not only stand out, but to get noticed for doing the right things. But oftentimes, I'm once again ashamed to say, I had integrity when it benefited me. Whew, and I'm just being transparent. It's embarrassing to say, but it's the reality of things. I like to always think I had it, but I didn't. But I didn't have, now I've got the core four in place. So any decision I make, I weigh it on those core four, the honor, integrity, discipline, respect. If it falls outside that preview, regardless as how tempting, how tantalizing, how this would really help boost my business and boost my career and boost my speaking and help me get to a higher level of coaching. If it doesn't fall in the honor, integrity, discipline, respect parameters, then it just isn't for me. And examples I like to give all the time at the Martial Arts Academy, we talked about integrity, but way back in the day, back in the days when I was going bankrupt and losing a house being foreclosed on and had cars repossessed because I wasn't a very good businessman, because I didn't have those core four in place. People would come in and say, "Oh, they got to earn every belt." Well, I'd get an excuse. Well, the kid wasn't feeling too good today, so you think you can cut him some slack? And it's not that I'm such a hard butt that I'm not. I don't have a heart, but it would be the point where there were times 20 years ago that I would give a kid a belt because the mom and dad would complain or threaten to quit. Oh my gosh! I mean, I'm just ashamed to even say that, but that's the reality of things. But guess what? You give them something they didn't earn. Now they're going to expect it. They're going to become entitled, which is something I'm totally against in every way, shape, or form. Always have been. But yet I was going against my values. But those values weren't in place. Now I'm spending so much time talking about this because I want you to establish your core values, your unbreakables, whatever they are. So fast forward to a few years ago, I guess, before we sold the academy, we'd have parents come up with excuses for their kiddos. And, he was 9 years old. He's 9 years old. He's had a rough day at school. So that's why he didn't do very well on his test. I'm like, okay, well, I'm sorry that he had a bad day, but we're going to have to retest tomorrow or later this week. Oh, you're not just going to give him his belt because no. Well, I think we may have to go to another martial arts academy. And I'd say, you know what? Well, let's go to the front desk and get your membership terminated and we can move on and part as friends because I'm not breaching my core values. And they're like, whoa. Now, the majority of the people are like, okay, well, they can, all right, we'll have them work on it and this and that. And then I'll say, look, when you brought the kiddo in, you told me you wanted to work on discipline. You wanted to work on respect. You wanted to work on him earning it. You said you didn't like the word entitled. Like I don't like that word. You want him to earn it. I'm just trying to help you with what you asked me to help you with. Now, coaches, same thing. You're going to have those parents. They're going to come up and they're going to see how far they can push you. You got to stand firm. It doesn't mean you have to be a jerk. It doesn't mean you have to be rude or mean or disrespectful. Just stand firm. And what are your core values? What are your standards? And I tell you what, man, you start lowering those standards. You start lowering or just getting rid of your core values. Then you got nothing to stand on. Ooh. Now, I want you to think about that. Think about a time when you possibly lowered your standards. I just shared a couple with you. Man, that's that pain of regret. I wish I wouldn't have done it. But I did. I can't do anything about the past, but I can certainly learn from it and move on. And that's the thing. If we keep making, the same thing I tell the players all the time, if you keep making the same mistake over and over and over and over again, it's no longer just an error. It's a choice because you choose not to get better. You chose not to learn from it. You chose not to do something to improve on it. Now, change is not easy. But man, if you want it bad enough, you'll work at it. You'll find a way. And if you don't, you'll come up with an excuse. Woo! Bam! There's a right hook of reality. Boom! And a left uppercut of truth coming at you big and hard and hot. Yes, yes, yes. All right, does that sting a little bit? Well, let's move on to our warrior confidence tips. And the first tip is own your mistakes with courage. And I've just shared with you many of my mistakes from, well, I guess just a handful there, but over previous episodes, countless mistakes from the past. I've failed. I've come up short. I've made poor choices. I've breached my integrity. And occasionally I get a comment. Somebody will say, why the heck should I ever listen to you? You're flawed just like I am. Yeah, you're exactly right. I am flawed. But gosh darn it, I'm doing everything I can to continue reading, to continue researching, continue learning, growing, developing, surrounding myself with mentors and guides and elite coaches. Why? Because I want to get better. I know I can get better than I am today. And that brings up another whole topic. Don't get in the comparison trap. Don't compare yourself to me, because I'm certainly not going to compare myself to you. Why? Well, you've definitely got qualities that I'll never have. And it doesn't mean I can't admire some of your qualities and accomplishments, but I'm not in a race against you. I'm not in a race against anybody, and nor should you be. Be in a comparison trap. Well, it's a trap, but be in a comparison game between the person you were yesterday and the person you are today and the person you want to be tomorrow. That the only person you should compare yourself to is that person yesterday, who you are today compared to that person from yesterday, and who the heck you're going to be tomorrow compared to the person you are today. That's all we can do. I mean, that's a big enough job, don't you think? Yeah. And we get lost up in playing, once again, that comparison game. And Teddy Roosevelt said it so well. Comparison is the thief of joy. It's going to steal your joy. Because, well, if you compare yourself to somebody who's doing so much better than you, you're going to think, hey, I'll never be that great. Well, now you're bullying and putting yourself down, planting negative seeds in your mental garden. Or the other way, you'll say, well, at least I'm not as bad as that guy. Holy cow, whoa. Well, now you're putting somebody else down and you're lowering your standards because you're saying, well, at least I'm not that bad. I'm not great, but I'm not that bad. No, knock that nonsense off. Comparison is the thief of joy. Compare yourself to only yourself and your own accomplishments and, my gosh, what you're capable of. Woohoo! Boom! There's that big right hook again, man. I'm coming at you. Oh, the big right hooks of this episode. I like to every episode. It's just kind of my thing. That's my hashtag, by the way. Feel free to use it. Right hook of reality. And warrior confidence, of course. That warrior confidence is all about building that belief, that confidence, that self-respect, that self-discipline in you to be your best. All right, moving on. Warrior confidence tip number 2 is lead with consistent actions. Well, we talked about that journey of 1,000 miles. Consistent actions. Keep pushing that car. You got to stay consistent. Once you stop, man, it's hard as heck to get that thing going again. So consistency, day in and day out, doing the little things, that daily grind. I mean, are there days when I don't feel like doing these videos? I don't feel like doing these podcasts? Don't feel like going to the gym? Don't feel like doing anything? Yeah, I'm a human being, man. I have those days as well, just as anybody else. Matter of fact, I'm recording this later than I normally like to record it. No excuse is a good excuse, so I'm not going to give you an excuse because I wouldn't want you to listen to it anyway. You got your excuses. Everybody's got excuses. You want solutions. So the solution is I'm doing this dang thing because I said I was going to. And once it's like once you get to the gym, oh, I'm so glad I went. It's getting there. Once I get the camera equipment all set up and the pipe microphone and this and that and got my notes all lined out, I love doing this. But it's the setup. But you got to stay disciplined. You got to be consistent. Tom Ziegler, who Zig Ziglar's son, he always talks about PC. Now, it's not the ridiculous PC that we have going on in society today, the overly politically correct nonsense. Those, you guys all know how I feel about that. The PC I'm talking about is persistent consistency. Being persistent in what you need to do and consistently doing it day in and day out, regardless if you feel like it or not. That gets back to our integrity, right? That gets back to developing that character that we want. Doing the things you say you're going to do, regardless if you feel like doing it or not, and doing what you need to do to stand out from the crowd, not to blend in with everyone else. And you blend in, you get overlooked. I mean, like I mentioned before, I was always one of the shortest, smallest on every team. So if I tried to blend in, I was definitely overlooked. I had to do things to stand out to get noticed. to get noticed, to get the ice time I wanted. The thought that just ran through my head is so silly. Was the episode, was it Shrek, when Donkey's in the back going, pick me, pick me, pick me, pick me. uh, I laugh at that. For whatever reason, it always pops back in my head because, gosh darn, that was literally me on the ice trying to get noticed to the coach. And I never got noticed. It was annoying. The coach just like shooed me away. So what I have to do, I had to have the grit, the determination, the tenacity, the persistent consistency before I even knew what that was, to outwork everyone at practice, to do the things others weren't willing to do. And I'm telling you, yeah, I got called brown noser because I'd stay and help pick up pucks. I would stay and ask coach, what else can I do? The things I can do at home to improve my speed, to improve my strength, and just always wanted to learn and always wanted to get better. And of course, the other players. And I'm telling you, a few years, I actually got physically, more than once, beat up because, oh, you're brown noser, or you're trying to do this, you're trying to make us look bad. No, man, I wanted ice time. I wanted to play. I wanted to get noticed. And I sure as heck, when you notice my natural ability wasn't the best. I mean, it was good, but it wasn't great. It wasn't elite. But what I had control over, my attitude and my effort, my willingness to do what others weren't willing to do. And guess what? So do you. So it doesn't matter your talent level, your size, your height, even your strength or your speed. You can work on your strength and speed. But what you can control the most, your attitude and your effort, your willingness to have the right attitude and your willingness to put forth the effort that you need to put forth in order to get the results that you want. Woo! Good, good, good. All right. So lead with consistent actions. Consistently, you got to do it. So as we're talking about consistent actions, my program, the How to Get More Ice Time, it goes over everything I'm talking about here, but in a short, condensed 45-minute masterclass video. It's a Q&A. The guy's asking me questions. I'm answering these questions on what athletes, what players need to do to get more ice time. So if you're a parent listening and you want your kiddo to get more ice time, I highly encourage you to pick up the program. If you're a coach, if you're a team organizational leader, it's going to help your team not only develop more respect, better work ethic, but they're going to learn how to communicate like a leader. And the masterclass video is only $9. I encourage you to, we've got a whole full bundle package, which includes an instructional workbook and an empowering ebook. And the ebook's also audible versions. You can listen to it in the car on the way to and from the rink for a few dollars more. I encourage you to pick it up. The link is in the comments description box. So pick it up. And if you have any questions, drop it in the comments. But man, $9. I encourage you to get the whole package. I think total it's like $48 for everything. So it's under $50, but it will get the respect, the work ethic, leadership, and communication skills you want to help your player get more ice time, to help your team develop into the team that you want. Woo! That sounds pretty good for commercial, right? All right. Built right into the podcast. All right. Moving on. Tip number 3. And this is something I talk about a lot, and I love tying this in. This has been, I guess, worked into several different podcasts, but it's all about kind of that integrity to get noticed, to stand out. And it's borrowed this from Herb Brooks from 1980 Miracle on Ice team. And it's all about respect the name on the front, because the name on the front is far more important than the name on the back. Talking about your uniform. Now, if you're listening to this, you've definitely seen Miracle on Ice. Now, I was blessed. I was 9 years old at the time when the United States Olympic hockey team, and I got my Mike Eruzione jersey over there on the wall. Yeah! Scored the game-winning goal against the Soviet Union there, and they won 4-3. When they played that game, February 22nd, 1980. Remember, I was 9 years old at the time. And then 2 days later, they beat Finland to win the gold medal. But he talked about, because he had players, and it was a great line he talked about. He goes, I don't want the best players. I want the right players. The right players to fit the right, just like I say, collectively we work together. I had what September was Synergy September, all about synchronizing your energies to connect. And without the right players, might be the best, but they're not connecting. They're not working together. Individuals lose, teams win. But with that, he had all these different players from different colleges that didn't get along. So they're at each other's throats all the time. And he'd always ask, what's your name? Who do you play for? And they'd say their name and, Minnesota or from Michigan. Well, finally, after skating countless, we call them killers or suicides, after a game they tied 3-3 against a team they should have beat, he's got them out on the ice. and he's just skating them to death, literally. The ice rink manager turned off the lights, and he's kept skating them. Once again, you probably know this because you've seen the movie. If you have not seen the movie, holy cow, what are you waiting on? Beautiful. It's Miracle is the name of it. And Kurt Russell does a fantastic job of portraying Herb Brooks. But anyway, finally gets Michael Ruzioni, says, who do you play for? And he goes, I play for the United States of America. And they said, yeah, when the name on the front is more important than the name on the back, that's when you become a team. That's when you become an unstoppable unit force. Woo, that gives me goosebumps every time just talking about that. I love talking about that. So it's one of the things I do with the players all the time at the beginning of the season. They'll get the jersey, and I'll say, all right, man, look at that. Look at the back. That's your name. That's your number. That's who you are, man. How great does that feel? And even nowadays, I'm 54 years old and playing in men's leagues. And a lot of times now it's just kind of passed down jerseys. But I was on a team recently, and we got our own jerseys. I got my name and number 11. You know, I was always, well, for the majority of my life, I was number 11 for Brian Sutter. A few years when Turgeon came to the Blues, I was number 77 because 11 was taken and 7 was taken, my two numbers. So I just combined them to 77. But anyway, but yeah, I got my jersey. I was excited. I've got, on the back. It felt so good. So I'll tell the players, look at that. Look how exciting that is. Now, I want you to turn that jersey over. Now I want you to look at the name on the front, because that name on the front, as exciting and great it makes you feel by looking at your name on the back, it's not near as important as the name on the front. The name on the front is the organization. The name on the front is the team. The name on the front is who you play for. You represent not only your name on the back, but you represent this team, this organization, and this team collectively. You're going to work together and make something happen. Because if you just play for the name on the back, the team's never going to be successful. And you're never going to reach the level of success that you're capable of because individuals fail. Play for the team. Woo! How good is that, right? All right. Whoa. I get super excited talking about this stuff. And thank you so very much for tuning in and listening. I mean, really, if not, I'm a person just talking into a microphone, looking into a camera. To who? Well, even if you weren't listening, I'd keep doing this because I love doing it. And I feel like I got an empowering message that needs to get out there. And with that being said, if you found value in this, please, by all means, drop, a fire emoji in the comments or share it with somebody that you know could benefit. I know a lot of teenagers, they don't listen to podcasts, but man, don't you think they could gain something from this, the valuable content in this? And a lot of it's probably some of the same things that you're saying. But we know with our kids, even with our players, it's almost like Charlie Brown's teacher. Wah, 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 wah. They tune us out. But something from another voice, and I'll say the same thing to parent will come up and say, hey, could you talk to Johnny? He's not really listening. So I'll talk to him, and I'll say the exact same thing the parent says, and the kid will listen. Oh, okay. And the parent will say, you know what? I've said that 100 times. I said, I get it. Well, it's mom and dad saying the same thing over and over again, coming from a different voice. And with that being said, I'm available for one-on-one coaching, group coaching, and speaking. So if you'd like me to come to your organization and speak and empower your players and your team and your whole organization, please check it out. The website is warriorconfidence.com. And like I said, on social media, it's Real Rich Grogan. But back to it. You found value in this, man. Share it with your teenager. Share it with somebody that could benefit, because collectively, we're going to make it. We're going to make hockey become the great sport that we all love. But also, my whole goal with this is be the mentor I never had. But most importantly, help players lead with integrity on and off the ice, to stand out, to get noticed, to become the leaders, heroes, and champions they were born to be. But it starts with you. You got to set the example. All right, well, let's do a quick review. The quick review on if I can find it in my notes here. There we go. I put these notes together to keep me on track because oftentimes I drift off the path. Tip number 1, own your mistakes with courage. We all make mistakes. We all mess up. I shared with bunch of my mistakes and goof ups and times that I'm not very proud of at the very beginning. Own them with courage. And that courage is all about learning and growing and making a commitment to get better. So own those babies. Number 2, lead with consistent action. That persistent consistency to keep moving, to keep doing what you know you need to do. And you're not going to see the results right off the bat. It's going to take a little while. Sort of like when you plant a seed in a garden. You don't get the results, the plant, the tree, or whatever you planted overnight. It takes a little bit of time, but you got to make sure you water it. You got to make sure you get sunlight. You got to make sure you weed the garden in order to get what you want. So it does take a little bit of time, but continue to lead with consistent action. And Warrior Confidence tip number 3 is respect the name on the front far more than name on the back. That means respect the team, respect the commitment, respect the core values, respect your standards that you've set for your team or your family, and don't lower those. Don't lower those for anybody, because collectively, that team mantra, that team mindset, that attitude of excellence, that working together collectively is what's going to help you get to that next level. It's going to help your team, your kids get to that next level, because we can't do it alone. Woo! What do you think? Did you like that? I'm telling you, if you found value in this, share it, but please drop something in the comments. And I know a lot of folks don't like commenting on YouTube, or when you see these, I'll break this up into some short little videos. Just drop a fire emoji if you really liked it. Yeah, that lets me know that it meant something to you. Now, if you want to write out a long comment, please do so. I would love for you to share your story with others, and others would love to hear it. And once again, if you're a jerk just on here to try and be a keyboard warrior tough guy, don't even waste your time. I'll just delete your comment. I'm not going to engage you. I did in the past, and all that did was suck up all my time, and I couldn't engage the people that really wanted help. So not anymore. And use that as a lesson for you. If you've got your share of haters out there, and I tell you, anytime you stand out from the crowd, you're going to get those. Do not engage them. Do not waste time on them. They're not worth it. And if you waste all your time on them, you're not going to have enough time and energy for the things that really matter, like helping yourself become the best you can be, helping your team, helping your kids become the very best they can be. And if you're a husband, being the best husband you can be. I mean, think about it. You're going to be online fighting a troll, or you want to be spending time with your wife and kids? And I tell you that once again because I've chose the fighting online because I don't like to lose, and I am a fighter. But that's also being a knucklehead. Don't do that. All right. Hey, thank you so very much for taking the time to listen. I love you. God loves you. Please share that love with the world and share your uniqueness, your gift with the world. And until we talk again, you get out there and do your best. And I promise you'll be your very best. God bless you. God bless your loved ones. I can't wait to read your comments. And hopefully I'll get a chance to see you around the rink. God bless everybody. Bye-bye. Thank you so very much for being a part of the Warrior Confidence Unleashed podcast. I am truly grateful for your time. If you found value in this message, please kindly share it with someone else who could also benefit from it, especially teenagers and adult athletes and leaders who are serious about getting noticed, getting more playing time, and leadership roles. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share your comments with us, and we truly appreciate your 5-star reviews, as that helps spread the message even further. Stay connected with us throughout the week on all social media platforms at Real Rich Grogan, and visit our website at warriorconfidence.com for access to all our programs and books. The links are in the description box. Thank you again for your time, and I can't wait to chat with you again real soon. Have a blessed day. God bless. Parents, are you frustrated seeing your superstar sit on the bench, getting overlooked and passed over for ice time and leadership roles? I personally know that heartbreaking pain. Well, that frustration ends today. Introducing our How to Get More Ice Time program, the amazing one-of-a-kind program for youth and teenage hockey players that helps them get what they want most, more playing time and more opportunities. And today, exclusive offer, we're selling this thing for only $9. $9. It's a no-brainer. But you got to act now, because this offer won't last, and if you don't do anything, nothing's going to change. So go to warriorconfidence.com. That's warriorconfidence.com, or simply click on the link in the description box. Buy the program today and help your child get what they want most, more ice time. I want to mention this amazing nutritional company that I've partnered with called Live Pure. And I've been sampling their products for the past 12 months, and I feel 100% confident giving Live Pure my full endorsement. That's why I'm sharing it with you now. My personal nutrition, health, wellness, weight loss, and muscle tone have all improved dramatically. And all the products are third-party lab tested, 100% clean, pure, and natural. They're a Christian-based company with over 17 years of improving lives. So check out the link in the description box to learn more and to get preferred partner pricing.